So we're currently in the solicitors. I'm going to do a two-part video here. We're refinancing one of our properties. So at the moment it's on a bridging loan that needs paying off. And we're now in the solicitors because our new lender, like all lenders do over the last few years, they require us to do a personal guarantee. So we're seeking independent legal advice. And again, the solicitor is part of our power team now for about 4 or 5 years. So we know what's coming. So check out the second part. See you soon. Okay, part two. So just got back from the solicitors. So obviously the nice, lovely solicitor carried out independent legal advice, provided me and my partner with personal guarantees and so on. So I'll just go quickly through the documents here, just so you're aware of 90% of the things that covered. Now, with us having personal guarantees done there before and so on, like I said, several done there over the years, she didn't need to see any ID or anything like that. She probably does need to see it every year, 2 years or something, but we haven't had to provide ID for quite a long time, probably because she knows us and that type of thing. So just be aware that if it's the first time you're ever doing a personal guarantee, you're probably going to need to take in various pieces of ID, but I'm sure they'll let you know about that ahead of time. Now, for the personal guarantee and all the other paraphernalia here, the lender who you're using will send you or whoever's dealing with the conveyancing all the things that need filling out. So then all you're likely to do is send it across to the solicitor that is doing the independent legal advice, or should I say providing you with the independent legal advice and signing the personal guarantees. I think I mentioned this previously as well. Some of my mentees, when they ask, they'll say that their solicitor can offer a personal guarantee. That's fine. Do it through them if they'll do it. I think it's a case of how big the solicitors is, whether there's different directors that do it and so on. But the solicitors that we're using for the refinance is based in Leeds, and they said that they would do it. They can do it now, I believe, over WhatsApp, obviously video, not text. But we decided just to stick with our normal solicitor who's done many of them before. And the prices, it cost £300 for two directors. Now, if we were to go to the other solicitors, they would charge, I think it was £250 plus VAT for the first director. And then pretty much because it's all done in the same meeting, another £100 plus VAT. So that's 120. So I think it worked out to about £420 versus £300 from our normal solicitor. Now, again, I always advocate this: you get what you pay for and so on. So don't think somebody else can do it at 200 or whatever. Just make sure whoever it is that you're using is, official and does a good job, really. So let's get into this now then. Before I forget though, make sure you do subscribe to this channel. And if you're one of my mentees watching this, make sure, again, you're making notes on this and so on, and bring it to some of the property lessons that we have. So what's this bit now? Now, that really is the meeting that we had, the board meeting, I suppose. And basically, because we're raising finance, or should I say refinancing the property that we purchased in a limited company, we need to make sure that all board directors, board seat members and so on are happy with it. So it's basically me and my partner signing that, yes, we agree on what we're likely to do with this property. Then that is also the resolution as well, to say that, basically we all agree to refinancing the property. Just to, again, I don't know if I mentioned this before, the property we purchased through bridging finance. Obviously, when you're doing BRRR, buy the property, refurbish property, refinance should definitely be a third one because you're going to get a better value, and then fourth one, rent it out after the valuation. The B can obviously be exchanged for bridge, okay? Because if it's a good BRRR opportunity, it's very unlikely that you can be able to get a buy-to-let mortgage on it, which is where bridging finance comes into play. But again, you need to understand the necessary fees and penalties associated with bridging finance. So if you think it's only going to take 3 or 4 months, take it out for 12 months. If you think the project's going to take 10, 11 months, take it out for 18 months, 2 years. Always, always, always take it out for longer than needed, because if you do pay it back ahead of time, which hopefully if you're working with me, you will do, you get your retained interest paid back to you anyway. That's if they did retain the interest at the start. Again, that's all down to your experience, really. There's the actual deed of guarantee. So that's basically one for myself, signed there at the back. So there's a deed of guarantee. Obviously, I'm not going to show it close to the screen or anything. And now with those, I'd always recommend that when you get the email from the solicitor that's doing the refinance, you obviously, I'm old school, print everything off and read it through, and then just highlight anything that you're a little bit unsure of, really. But once you start doing a few of these refinances, you realize that each lender that you use sends across pretty much 90-95% of similar material. What's that one? And that is, again, just another sheet there to accompany that personal guarantee to say that I have had independent legal advice, again, signed, sealed, and so on. And then this bit, again, is just pretty much the same, just another deed of guarantee there for my partner, and then again the corresponding independent legal advice there. Now, before I forget, I don't think I mentioned this at the start, we were in and out of the solicitors actually in the office meeting within 14 minutes, 15 minutes. So it's not as if it takes a long time, it's more a case of organising it with the solicitors and making sure that, again, you're building that relationship up between you, so that when you contact them, they know who you are, and obviously that you're not a time waster, and they're likely to get you in, obviously, as soon as they can, really. Then we're required to, as always, sign the actual mortgage guarantee, the mortgage deed for the property. And then the final thing there, confirmation, and that, I suppose, is just them covering their own backside, really, to say that yes, we've read the offer, yes, we understand the independent legal advice, yes, we've done X, Y, and Z, and so on. So I don't know whether this video has been useful for anybody, but if it has, make sure you like it. But again, the personal guarantee, some people, when they start working with me on the Black Belt Property Accelerator, then the Academy, they'll say I'm a bit unsure about whether to sign a personal guarantee. If you're an honest, ethical person, which I'm sure you are if you're watching this, and you intend to pay the mortgage payments each and every month, then signing a guarantee should be no problem at all. It's only if you're a little bit, rogue and think, well, I don't know if I'm going to pay it, then obviously a personal guarantee will be a bit of a headache. Now, once you do sell the property, or if at some point you decide to sell the property, and obviously you sell it for more than, or should I say, you cover any outstanding balances, then the personal guarantee is gone because the asset isn't yours anymore. So I would always be aware of the fact that if you're buying property in your limited company, you will need to carry out a personal guarantee. Lots of lenders require them, just to make sure, or to cover their back, really, so that in case you decide to fold your company, that they're not just stood there thinking, right, what do we do now, even though they've already built in the 25% equity, that they can still chase you for that money and so on. Anyway, just keep taking steps further forward. If you want, obviously, no fluff, no hype type of property information, then check out the link below. Have a look at the Black Belt Property Accelerator, a 12-week program aiming to establish strong fundamentals, because that's what we need in all businesses, in all areas of life, really, but strong fundamentals in property, which will then help you, obviously, grow, increase your cash flow, increase your passive income, and ultimately your wealth if you're doing things properly. Good luck. Make sure you subscribe. All the best. Forgot to mention, obviously, that those sheets, those documents will need to be sent in the post today. So we always send it via tracked for, signed for, whatever you want to call it, recorded delivery, to make sure that it gets into the hands of the person that we want it to get into. So don't be cheap and sending it in a second class letter and trying to force in 10, 12, 14 pages into a single small envelope. Make sure that you're not stepping over pounds to pick up pennies. If it costs you £5 or £10 to send the letter, but making sure that it gets there, do it. You've just spent 300, 350, 400 on independent legal advice. In the grand scheme of things, what's £10 on a letter going to do? Okay. Good luck. Keep taking steps further forward, and check out the link for the Black Belt Property Accelerator. All the best.